1st, 1924, indicated an increase for the year 1925 of $402,960.59, considered an unusually excellent record for the company. A mother Airedale and her pup wandered from the home kennels last night, taking a stroll up Lincoln Avenue. Becoming tired and somewhat chilly, they decided to camp for the night on the porch of the John Frank home, 681 Lincoln Avenue, and promptly curled up on the porch rug. The occupant of the house sought to remove his unbidden tenants, but the mother dog protested with all her canine ferocity, making it plain to the man of the house that she had no intention of letting her small son freeze to death. So the police were called, and Mrs. Airedale and baby spent a comfortable night at the city jail this morning.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.com.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. This afternoon, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 55. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, with a low around 40. Looking ahead to Wednesday, patchy fog and showers likely, with a high near 40. Currently, it's 44 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of a Town, WRMN.
You know that Chick-fil-A sells more than chicken, right?
Hello, my name is Jaleesa, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is how it's all of my favorite breakfast items in one good bite. That fluffy egg, that melty cheese with that perfectly grilled sausage. It just gives you that warmth, that comfort food that you love. It is the best possible option for a classic breakfast.
Comfort is calling. Order a Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit with Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimony.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Looking for the perfect midday pick-me-up? Tune in on Out to Lunch on WRMN AM 1410. Weekdays at midday. Out to Lunch brings a fresh, energetic look at local life, diving into the stories, events, and conversations shaping our community. From lively talk and new discoveries to real voices from around town. It's the perfect mix of entertainment, information, and hometown spirit. Listen on WRMN AM 1410 or watch us live on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Out to Lunch. Spice up your midday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome in to another edition of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And before we get into the sporting conversation of the day, please feel free to get your sports thoughts off by calling in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. You could also join me on the Tube of Views, youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And if you want to text in and you're a little too shy to call in or join me on YouTube, feel free to text in at 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. And, right before I hit the pod up button or, the fader, and my voice goes booming out over the radio, probably about 5 minutes or so before I actually went on air. My breath was a little stinky. My, palate needed a little cleanse, so I got some Listerine, took the Listerine, did the whole rinse thing. And right before I went on air, I took a sip of my Bang. I highly recommend not doing that. It is, wow, the combination of the Listerine and my Purple Haze Bang energy drink. Yeah, that is no bueno. But anyway, you're not tuning in to hear me talk about that. You're tuning in to hear me talk a little bit about maybe the Chicago Bears, the WBC, the Chicago Blackhawks, Chicago Unbelievables, or just sports. Here on WRMN 1410 AM, Big Top Sports. And one of the things that I want to put to rest or put to bed, considering that it is free agency, or technically speaking, legal tampering, if you will, with all of the free agents that are out there. I mean, massive deals have been struck, come together, come to fruition, whatever. But, it doesn't exactly happen until tomorrow when the new, quote unquote, new league year, commences. Okay, that's all fine and good. And I mean, I'm going to harken back to a conversation that I was having with David Tees yesterday, who has been sitting in with Susie C on the WRMN morning show. And David Tees, also, fantasy football blitz guy, alongside with John Payne during the football season, during the NFL football season. But he's also going to be talking, golf on his new show that is from 9 until 10 every Saturday morning. But one of the things that David had brought up was that, the Chicago Bears only have 3 wide receivers. And the Chicago Bears didn't have any, safety help yesterday. They didn't have any safeties, linemen, et cetera, et cetera. One thing that I know is a virtual certainty as far as the Chicago Bears are concerned and the rest of the NFL teams are concerned. Come time after the draft or after whatever, whenever the teams report to camp, they are going to have all the slots filled, all the rosters will be filled, players are going to be competing for their positions, for starting time, for playing time, for their contracts, for their livelihoods. This is a virtual certainty. No, this is a guarantee. I could say this with 100% confidence. And it boggles my mind that the talking heads, the writers, what are they going to do? How are they going to fill it? Listen, I am not going there to Hallis Hall. I am not talking to anyone in the Chicago Bears organization. No, I am a fan. But let's make one thing perfectly clear. The rosters will be taken care of. However, Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles feel that they are going to handle the construction of the Chicago Bears, it will be completed. Now, on the flip side of that coin, are they going to actually be the players that, the fans want? Well, I mean, and it was very eye-opening to hear that the Chicago Bears were actually in on trying to make a deal for one Max Crosby. It just so happened that another team outbid them with 2 first-round picks. Well, not the same first-round picks that the Chicago Bears were going to give them, because let me see real quick, because here, Max Crosby trade. And so, so the Baltimore Ravens, they made it a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, it just so happens that the Ravens had a higher draft pick than what the Chicago Bears were, because they didn't make the playoffs last year, and they were able to go all in for what they consider their window. Now, last year, the Baltimore Ravens met with a whole hell of a lot of injuries. Lamar Jackson didn't exactly have the best year. They ended up firing Harbaugh, who is now the head coach for the New York Giants. Okay, whatever. But even still, remember way back when the Chicago Bears traded a couple first-round picks for, I don't know, that stud wrecker Khalil Mack? What happened with that? There is no guarantee. There is absolutely no guarantee that Max Crosby is going to be that piece that pushes them over the edge and makes them a Super Bowl contender. I mean, during the season, Lamar Jackson has been pretty damn good. A couple of MVPs under his belt. Yeah. But come playoff time, who knows what happens or what transpires with him or the Ravens, or how you can not run the ball when you probably should run the ball. But, that's neither here nor there. Coach Harbaugh, for all intents and purposes, knows a hell of a lot more about football than I ever will. The thing of it is things will get done. The roster will fill out. It's why Ben Johnson's there as the head coach. It's why Dennis Allen is there as the defensive coordinator. It is what Ryan Poles and the GM, as the GM of the Chicago Bears, this is why he is there. So, pump the brakes, take a deep breath, hold it for a few seconds, and take a good long exhale. Because what good is it going to do you to get all worked up about it? I know it's a little silly talk coming from, the host of a radio sports talk show, but you can't control it. You can bitch and moan about it, and trust me, we've got the rest of the offseason to worry about. We've got the impending free agent signings and all that fun fracking stuff. But things, and when I say things, Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, and the rest of the Chicago Bears organization is going to figure things out. It's just the nature of the offseason, free agency, the draft, then going through training camp, dealing with the cuts, figuring out if there's other extra players out there that you could possibly and potentially bring in to make their organization the best that it could possibly be. Because you're still dealing with a left tackle that potentially needs to be upgraded, although that was kind of dealt with a late afternoon signing. I'll get to that. There's also the needs of, like, maybe there's another need for, another wide receiver. Cool. They still have a few safety positions to figure out. They still need to figure out who is going to be playing opposite of Jalen Johnson, cornerback. They need to figure out who the 3 technique might be. Is there a college stud that will be in the draft at pick number 25 for the Chicago Bears? All of this stuff will be handled. So like I said, take a deep breath, hold it, exhale, and go on with your life. I know that the Chicago Bears fandom is, rabid and ardent, but still, it's out of your control. Unless you have like a podcast or maybe like a radio show. And hell, I have absolutely no control other than, the words coming out of my mouth, the dials that I press here. And the fact that the Chicago Bears are, also part of the WRMN family. Well, not, on the radio, we do broadcast them, whenever they play, et cetera, et cetera. But, just try to have a level head about it. This is, after all, lying season. This is, after all, the very beginning, or actually tomorrow will be the very beginning of the new football year. You just need to take a break. Speaking of, you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, and I'll be back on the other side.
Are you suffering with anxiety, depression, PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem? If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with a Family Medical Leave Act, you could take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered. If you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem, use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
A recent Gallup poll indicated that 38% of Americans are putting off health care because of financial concerns, the highest ever recorded. I'm Dr. Bob Martin, here to serve you every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4. Millions of Americans are seeking health advice that will not cost an arm and a leg, so I offer health tips and advice absolutely free. Listen to my show, Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4 right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM, the voice of the Valley.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Okay, so a little bit of news and everything for the former Bears. Congratulations to Nashawn Wright landing a deal with the New York Jets. Not exactly sure if I should be congratulating him or giving him condolences, because he is going to be he signed or will be signing a free agent deal with the New York Jets, worth $5.5 million. That's according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz. The Bears did pick up former Detroit Lions wide receiver Caliph Raymond, according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. So this, with Ben Johnson being the head coach, he kind of already knows a little bit about Caliph Raymond. So, hey, David Tease, there's one signing. Most likely... I don't know exactly how that's going to affect the future with Devin Duvernay, the Bears punt returner and kickoff returner as well. And reports coming out of, according to Brad Biggs, Chicago Bears insider and also, NFL insider as well. So according to Brad Biggs, it is unlikely the Bears are going to be re-signing safety Kevin Byard III. This is after, of course, the Bears signed Kobe Bryant negotiated with a contract with Kobe Bryant to a 3-year, $40 million contract Monday. That doesn't take place, or that doesn't actually go through until tomorrow. But the Bears still, as I've said already in this episode of Big Top Sports, the Bears still have a starting safety spot to fill opposite of Bryant. But this is what I'm talking about. This is where you need to wait and see, because whether it's going to be a draft position, and maybe it might be Elijah Hicks. Who knows? And as I was going off the air, the Chicago Bears re-upped with left tackle Braxton Jones. So he's signing a 1-year contract extension up to $10 million, according to ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler. And let's see. What else did Brad Biggs bring up? So the Bears could look to bring back, he specifically named safety Elijah Hicks, offensive lineman Jordan McFadden, and tight end Durham Smythe. Smythe was part of that 13 personnel So I think that worked out really well when he was, playing there, because he would line up as either like fullback or running back and take care of things. Now, one of the unfortunate things that I also mentioned yesterday and gotten a little wiser. So with the Bears losing assistant general manager Ian Cunningham to the Philadelphia Falcons. Oh my great googly moogly. The Atlanta Falcons. The Philadelphia Falcons. Holy smurf. So there will be no, apparently, third round compensatory picks for former assistant general manager Ian Cunningham, which I think I'll talk a little bit more about that on the other side of the bottom of the hour break, but that just seems like the NFL totally screwed the pooch on this one, considering the fact that, the Rooney Rule, and I'll get more in depth on that as far as that goes, because that's just an absolute cluster mess of a thing. And I think I might have read the wrong article yesterday. The Bears are re-signing quarterback Case Keenum, but according to Adam Schefter, it's a 2-year deal, and the deal is worth $5.5 million with potential of playing incentives going all the way up to $8 million. So, that kind of stinks. Well, you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. I'll be back after these messages.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Rain-X. Sleep experts at Rush University Medical Center say...
Well, that's an unfortunate thing with technology sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but whatever. The bumper music didn't fire off, and I looked up, and oh my great googly moogly, it was time to go to break, so that was why it was a little off there. Here, let me get into what is the Rooney Rule in the NFL. I mean, really? Yeah. So I'll be coming back with this, but since you're all here, it'll kind of be like deja vu a little bit. The Rooney Rule, adopted in 2003, mandates that teams interview at least 2 external minority and or female candidates for head coach, general manager, and senior operational jobs. It requires 1 minority candidate for quarterback coach positions, while aimed at improving diversity. It has faced criticism for often being used as a check the box formality rather than a substantive. Oh, I can read well. Fair hiring process. Yeah, well, the Bears, let's see. Ian Cunningham. Him. Yep. He looks to be of African American ethnicity. So, yeah. So I'm not exactly sure where or how that was not accurate, or why things didn't progress to where, how he didn't get, or how the Chicago Bears didn't get a compensatory pick. But whatever, what do I know? It's kind of funny because when you have an organization, well, couple of things. You have Matt Ryan coming out and saying that he is not the primary football executive in Atlanta. That Ian Cunningham, who was the assistant general manager, becomes the general manager. And even Ian Cunningham comes out. I mean, it's just a complete and total clusterfuck. That's the best way that I could describe that. And the Bears are getting screwed on it. Yeah, what do I know? And it's kind of funny because when you have the president of football operations, I believe that's Matt Ryan. What am I saying? Yeah, Matt Ryan. What was I saying? Kevin Ryan? Or I don't even know at this point. But coming back from break.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Doing that whole sports thing here on WRMN 1410 AM. Hey, if you want to be a part of this sporting conversation, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410 AM. Holy smurf. That's 847-931-1410. 847-931-1410. You could see my perplexed and befuddled face on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Or even if you want to text in and leave a thought, do so at 505-926-1410. That's 505-926. Okay. The Bears totally get screwed in compensatory draft picks. It's not even like they were coming from the Atlanta Falcons, like I had thought they were coming from yesterday. Or maybe even last week. I don't know. The days are blurring together. You know, early hours, all that stuff. Not enough sleep, not enough bang, not enough whatever. But the whole aspect of the Rooney Rule is, according to the Google machine and the AI thing that spit it out, was that the NFL's Rooney Rule, adopted way back in 2003, so 2003, mandates that a team must interview at least 2 external minority or female candidates for head coach, general manager, and senior operational jobs. So, okay, that kind of checks the one. It requires 1 minority candidate for quarterback coach positions, While aimed at improving diversity, it has faced criticism for often being used as a quote-unquote check the box formality than a substantive, reading is fundamental, fair hiring process. Okay, so at last checked, the assistant general manager of the Chicago Bears last season was, in fact, Ian Cunningham. Last I checked, he is an African American. Okay, so with all that being said, requirements. Teams must conduct at least 2 in-person interviews with diverse candidates. I already went over that. It had the expansion. It has expanded from only head coaching jobs to include senior level executive and, as of 2022, quarterback coaches as well. Incentives. The NFL rewards teams with third-round draft picks over 2 consecutive years if a minority assistant coach or executive is hired as a head coach or primary football executive by another team. So, with that being said, unless I'm missing something, Ian Cunningham, former assistant general manager of the Chicago Bears, was elevated to general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, and then so that is what he will be doing. He will be controlling the drafting process, the hiring and firings of the coaching staff, and all of the fundamental stuff that a general manager does. You even have Matt Ryan, the person that is in charge of football operations for the Falcons, that came out and said he will be in the room during all of the draft discussions and stuff, the free agent signings, etc., that are currently going on right now, where Ian Cunningham is the man in charge. And you even had Ian Cunningham himself coming out and saying that the Chicago Bears should get it because he checks off the boxes. You know, the stuff that I just mentioned, you know, general manager, coordinator, head coach, you know, those things. So how is it, or why is it? Thank you for listening, Brendan. I appreciate it. Why is it that they put this rule into place, and yet when they have the opportunity, and they being the NFL, don't follow their own guidelines? What in the hell's going on? Why did the Chicago Bears not receive the compensatory draft picks? I mean, it would have helped this draft year, and it would have helped next year's draft. Does it even matter about getting this second draft pick for 2027? Sure as hell could have filled a couple of voids in the third round this year, considering the fact that all of the needs that the Chicago Bears have. But you're talking out of one side of your mouth, and then you're doing the exact opposite out of the other. What a bad look. But here's the other thing. Remember what I was talking about last segment or last half hour about not being in control? I can't control this. You can't control this. Apparently the Chicago Bears can't control this because they went ahead and they, you know, I don't know if they filed a grievance or, they tried to appeal it, and that got shot down. So it's the NFL ruling with their ironclad fist. I am the ruler. Ow, that hurt. Shouldn't probably pound the desk. But yeah, there's nothing, as of right now, there is nothing that the Chicago Bears can do in regards to that, which sucks because it completely and totally goes against everything of what the NFL tried to do with this rule. And it sucks. The purpose of this, named after former Pittsburgh Steelers owner Dan Rooney, the rule was established to increase the number of minorities in top coaching and football operation jobs. Okay, cool. Some of the criticisms. Many argue the rule fails to create real change, as minority candidates often feel like pawns, quote unquote, in a process where a candidate is already chosen. Critics argue it fails to address underlying bias in hiring decisions, leading to calls for better monitoring and stricter, more substantive requirements. That's all, folks. So, do better, NFL? Question mark? Because I don't understand what you're accomplishing by not following your own set of guidelines and rules when you can clearly just change them or work around them or obfuscate them to where, well, it suits you, and I don't even understand how this would actually suit you in the NFL. I just don't get it. I assume that Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, would eventually, potentially be asked about this. But, I mean, it seems to be arbitrary, and the NFL and the Shield rule with their own brand of, I don't know, favoritism. I don't even know what you would call it. Obtuseness, lack of accountability, because what are you accomplishing by this? I know the Bears won't accomplish in getting a third round compensatory pick that didn't cost Atlanta anything, but I don't know. And in this day and age, when you are trying, and the you is of course the NFL, you are trying to expand your reach to other countries, other markets, to make the billions of dollars a year in profitability for the owners, to where you are hopefully, or eventually, my theorizing of this is creating other teams in other countries, which would make it not a $1 billion a year industry, billions of dollars a year industry for the NFL, but could potentially hit the $1 trillion mark. Man, wouldn't it be great to be an NFL owner then? The reason why I'm bringing all of this into it is, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're talking Brazil, you're talking Spain, you're talking Germany, you're talking these other countries that are probably not even slated yet for NFL games, where I correct me again if I'm wrong, but a large Latin following. Why did you bring in the dude for the halftime show? And I can't believe I'm blanking on his name right now. Halftime show performer. Bad Bunny. Jeez Louise. As quickly as I thought of it, I swear it went right out. But isn't that part of the reason why you had Bad Bunny headlining Super Bowl 60 this year? Because you wanted a wider demographic watching your product on the field? This is bad form in all senses of bad form in the NFL. But I digress. I'm going to be talking a little bit of World Baseball Classic on the other side of this break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Back in a bit.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all is the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. For over a century, the Elgin Chamber has helped local businesses grow, connecting entrepreneurs, advocating for progress, and inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. Whether you're a new business just starting out or an established company looking to expand, the Elgin Chamber is your partner for success. Join a powerful network of leaders making a difference in our community every day. Together, we're shaping the future of Elgin, one connection at a time. Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, where business and community grow together. Call now, 847-741-5660, or go to info@elginchamber.com. Contact Carol Gieske.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Is back or neck pain keeping you from living the life you love? At St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin, our spine specialists help patients get back to moving, working, and enjoying life again, often with minimally invasive treatments and faster recovery. The care you need, the expertise you trust, right here in your community. Visit stjosephelgin.com to schedule a consultation. St. Joseph Hospital, celebrating 125 years of compassionate care.
Kick off your weekend with a little flair. It's Dino's Night Out, every Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM. Dino brings you the best of the Fox Valley's entertainment scene. Live music, local artists, street festivals, great eats, and the personalities behind them. If it's happening, Dino's talking about it. And bringing the spotlight is none other than the legendary Arcada Theater, located at 105 East Main Street in St. Charles. Catch dinner, drinks, and a show, all under one historic roof. So whether you're making plans or just love to know what's hot, make it a date with Dino's Night Out, Fridays, 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM, or stream it live at WRMN1410.com. Dino's Night Out, powered by the Arcada Theater, where Fox Valley comes to play.
And welcome back in to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And the WBC is currently going on, the World Baseball Classic. Hell of a game yesterday between Mexico and the United States. And My goodness, was it fun to watch. You have Anthony going deep. You've got All Rise for Judge. He goes deep. Oppo Taco. Judge made a nice throw to third base to get the assist on the runner trying to advance on a single. That was awesome. I mean, then you also have the shortstop for the United States team, and man, laying out, making a couple of awesome plays there. Man, Bobby Witt Jr. was just absolutely amazing in the field. And then you got, I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. For the, you missed an opportunity to have a Gold Glover playing second base in that of Nico Horner. And to see Terang out there playing that type of defense, Bryce Terang, just, I don't know. It's like I'm watching Bobby Witt Jr. diving all over the place, making plays, making stellar plays, making like, oh my good graciousness plays, and dude was lightning quick, cat-like reflexes, has a cannon for an arm, the wherewithal for that. And then you got Bryce Terang that just looked absolutely, I don't know, clueless. I don't know if clueless is the right word, but my goodness, that and maybe I'm gonna maybe raise. No, I'm actually raising my hand here because Bryce Terang is the second baseman for the Milwaukee Brewers, and maybe it's that whole recency bias, Mr. Boder, if you're listening. With that, but I mean, Nico Horner is a Gold Glove caliber second baseman. Two-time Gold Glove winner. Last year's Gold Glove winner. And the reason why they picked Bryce Terang over him was because, well, he has more pop in his bat. Okay, sure. I guess I can see that argument, but whatever. I digress. One of the absolute joys, when I was watching yesterday's game between Mexico and the United States, was Aaron Judge and his approach to hitting, where if you are a little leaguer, if you are a parent of a little leaguer, watch that home run from yesterday's game of Aaron Judge going Oppo Taco, hitting that home run, and the situation where it was. He didn't try muscling up and doing the typical home run swing, if you will. He didn't try doing the two-strike home run swing, which drives me up a wall. And I can't tell you how selfish I think it is. But he took a nice inside-out swing where he moved his hands in, let the bat of the ball, the head of the bat, meet the ball on the outer half of the plate, and he just went with it. He didn't try pulling it. He didn't try doing too much. And because it is Aaron Judge, he's got that kind of pop in his bat to muscle one out of there, which helped which obviously helped the United States beat Mexico by the score of 5-3 yesterday. And it's just, it's the little things. It's the absolute little things like that where you don't need the big swings every single time. Hell, situational hitting is a thing. Having a good approach is a thing. Meeting the baseball is a thing. Going the opposite field is a thing. And as the coach and as the hitting coach for the Chicago White Sox would say, shooter! You're currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Cintas. Illinois Democratic Party leaders are urging voters not to wait until the last minute to mail in primary election ballots. They warn postal processing changes could delay postmarks, meaning ballots mailed too close to Election Day may not count. Proposed Illinois legislation would restrict certain additives in processed foods and require baby food manufacturers to test for heavy metals. Supporters say the measure aims to better protect infants and young children. Sleep experts at Rush University Medical Center say proposed legislation to end daylight saving time in Illinois could improve public health. Doctors say that changing clocks twice a year is disruptive to sleep and is also linked to higher risks of heart attacks, strokes, mood changes, and car crashes. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Cintas. Illinois Democratic Party leaders are urging voters not to wait until the last minute to mail in primary election ballots. They warn postal processing changes could delay postmarks, meaning ballots mailed too close to Election Day may not count. Proposed Illinois legislation would restrict certain additives in processed foods and require baby food manufacturers to test for heavy metals. Supporters say the measure aims to better protect infants and young children. Sleep experts at Rush University Medical Center say proposed legislation to end daylight saving time in Illinois could improve public health. Doctors say that changing clocks twice a year is disruptive to sleep and is also linked to higher risks of heart attacks, strokes, mood changes, and car crashes. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by KFC. A flood watch is in effect until early tomorrow morning for the listening area. This afternoon, mostly cloudy with a high near 55, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely with a low around 40. Currently, it's 43 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
The volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Firearms are the #1 cause of death among kids, but we know that healthcare workers can make a huge difference. This is why prevention is absolutely critical. It starts with listening to the community, leaning in on those conversations to better inform what is the approach that you want to take. You are the champions for change. You can be the catalyst for integrating firearm injury prevention strategies into your practice and really benefiting your community. Let's agree to agree that we all have a role to play in ending this crisis.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And if you want to be a part of this sporting conversation, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. Or if you want to see my little strip tease, go to youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Yes, I was doing a little strip tease just for the simple fact that I forgot that I had my back brace on. I should have stopped right there. I should have stopped at the strip tease. But I have my back brace on, delivering various perishable goods to various locations throughout the Chicagoland area. And yeah, I forgot that it was on, wearing one of those pliable back braces that's got the suspenders on, and I didn't realize that I still had it on because it, kind of feels a little comfortable, but that's not the reason why you are listening right now. I want to continue talking about the WBC, and I kind of want to get into the fact that man, oh man, does it look like a lot of fun. Not necessarily in the United States, ? I mean, yes, the atmosphere for last night's game between Mexico and the United States, that was fun because Mexico and their fans seem to bring out this atmosphere, this jovialness, this excitement for the game, where they're banging, they're cheering, they're banging on things, they're cheering loud, they're doing their chants. Awesome. And then I get snippets and everything of the WBC games in Japan, where Japan is taking on, whether it be like Australia or the Czech Republic. I think it's the Czech Republic or whatever. And the fans in Japan are going absolutely berserk because one of the guys on the Czech team strikes out the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani. Probably by far one of the best hitters in all of Major League Baseball and in the WBC. Oh, yeah. And by the way, the dude that struck out the unicorn is a freaking electrician, not an actual baseball player, even though, he was dealing apparently to Shohei Ohtani. And he was pushed out onto the field, and they gave him a standing ovation. How fracking awesome is that? And then, not to mention that, I mean, then you have the Seiya Suzuki chants and the choreographed sit up, sit down, dance or routine, or I don't even know how you would describe it, for when Seiya Suzuki, Chicago Cubs DH, right fielder, hope that he continues doing what he's doing in the WBC with, the Cubs this season when the season commences. And the lively atmosphere that takes place with the Dominican Republic team or Puerto Rico. Got to roll the R with Puerto Rico. And it's just, it is so damn exhilarating to watch. And it gets you hyped, or it got me hyped. I don't know how you feel about it. The whole, don't cheer unless something's going on or whatever. And in a group chat that I am in with a bunch of, baseball fans and people from Illinois Media School and radio, et cetera, I mean, I kind of wonder how that would be perceived or taken if we were to be watching a game, let's say at the Rate or at Wrigley Field or any of the other 28 ballparks in the United States, or I'm sorry, 27 in the United States, one up in Canada, but how that would be received. And I almost think that we, or maybe not me, because I haven't experienced it in person yet. I want to, though. Hell, I wouldn't mind going to Japan and seeing a baseball game there and being a part of their custom and everything, being loud and respectful all at the same time, where it is respectful to be loud. Okay. But when here in America, and the games can be boring and a slog, where you're just, and you can't really appreciate, or I can. I don't know about the regular baseball fan or layman baseball fans, where obviously the atmosphere is different when you are actually in the stadium watching the event take place, because there are so many sights to be seen, smells and sounds, and the interaction with other fans where you actually get into it. But for the Latin community, or for Japan and that community and the Asian community, as far as watching a baseball game, my goodness, we are dull. And there's cheering, but then I don't even know how to explain it. It's like we take it, or I'm just going to speak for myself. You know, it's at a level of like a 3 or maybe a 4 when something really good happens. Game-winning walk-off home run. Okay, then you could crank it up to maybe like a 9 or a 10 or whatever. It seems to me that the other fan bases in the other countries enjoy the game a hell of a lot more than what we do. Because it seems like they are at a 7 the entire time. They could appreciate the pitching matchups or a pitching duel, let alone 17-year-olds facing one of the best teams ever constructed in the United States. That was Team Brazil. 2 17-year-olds pitching against the United States. I do believe one of them struck out, I want to say Judge. I think it was Judge. And if it wasn't a strikeout of Judge, one of them shattered Judge's bat and jammed him something unbelievably fierce, which was, God, already 17 years old, you're doing that to a big leaguer, former MVP or MVP player in Aaron Judge. That's got to be a memory. And if he's not going to be in the majors anytime soon, I don't know what is. But it is, this WBC has been very entertaining from everything that I've seen and taken in. Yet, there has been a little bit of consternation that I have. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But right now, you've got carpenters, electricians that are playing against the best players in the world. The atmosphere is awesome. You're growing the game, or the game is already, with 20 plus countries involved in this tournament, in the WBC. This is what baseball is all about. And it would be very unfortunate if the leaders of Major League Baseball, the owners, the commissioner. Well, the commissioner works for the owners. The owners want to get richer. You know, the players, they obviously want to get their bag too. But one of the things, and I digress here about all of that, and I'll talk about that on a later episode of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. But there are a few, or there is like one nitpicky thing that I do have about the WBC. And it's not about the play. It's not about the games. It's not about the fans. It's not about the stadiums. It's not, no. I'll hit you up on the other side with what I'm going to be nitpicky about. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Back in a bit.
Here on WRMN AM 1410, we like to keep you informed and in tune to what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and what's going on here on WRMN. We recognize the importance of local radio to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the community for the community.
You know, we talked about the importance of community theater, but supporting community radio is a big deal too. And, you know, for WRMN, this is a really cool thing that you guys do every day and a really important thing. You have to have a local media outlet to talk about what's going on in your town. So you guys do a nice job.
Tune in to AM 1410, WRMN. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Keep in tune and informed on what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, right here on WRMN.
Fitting in shouldn't be hard, whether in life, on the court, or in the classroom. At Elgin Community College, you could find your place alongside those expanding their horizons, exploring rewarding careers, and achieving their dreams. A place for doers, thinkers, and believers. At ECC, we see you, we believe in you, and you'll fit right in. Learn more at elgin.edu/belong.
America's First Responders Fest began as a simple idea to honor the heroes who serve our community every day. Thanks to the incredible support of the Village of Hampshire, especially Village President Mike Reed, Village Manager Jay Hedges, and Karen Stuhler. This year, that idea came to life. From local residents to small businesses, Hampshire opened its heart to America's First Responders Fest. The support was overwhelming. A true celebration of unity, gratitude, and community pride.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And getting into a little bit more talk about the World Baseball Classic. More specifically, the broadcast of the World Baseball Classic. And, it was... The game itself was fun to watch. That was fun. Where you already know that I was talking about Bobby Witt Jr. You laying out and making a few fantastic plays, actually a couple diving gold glove, platinum glove caliber plays, the cat-like reflexes, the timely home runs from Anthony and Judge, the defense that was on display as well. Hell, even the barking that Benji Gill, former MLB player from Mexico's bench, calling, from the balls and strikes that the umpire was calling correctly or missing. They didn't have the ABS, automated balls and strike system, set up for this. They also apparently didn't have replay because it looked like on one of those Bobby Witt plays that Mr. Good Hair himself over there at first base, Bryce Harper, looked like he might have taken his foot off the bag a little, or, in the stretch, taking his foot off the bag. But apparently there is no, replay or challenge system in the WBC because, well, it's WBC and it's not Major League Baseball at the time. But that's neither here nor there. The one thing that I just absolutely cringed, and I know those in glass houses should not throw stones, especially here on Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Oh, no. Not at all. I would never, ever throw stones. And I would never, ever call myself a hypocrite. Hypocrites say what? What? Yeah. So take it with a grain of salt. And I know play-by-play is tough. Being a color analyst can be tough. Unless you've actually, maybe played the game, played the sport, have a lot of knowledge about the sport in and of itself. Being a sideline reporter, coming up with the questions can be tough as well. Maybe a little daunting. But everyone that was on the Fox broadcast yesterday, for yesterday's Mexico versus USA World Baseball Classic game, I have absolutely no idea what the hell that kind of broadcast was. Some of the things that were coming out on the broadcast was cringe-worthy, where myself and my buddy looked at one another. Did he just say that? The hell was he talking about there? And for those of you that may or may not know, yes, I played high school ball. I played college ball, scouted, whatever. It is neither here nor there. Now I'm doing this silly talk radio sports show here on WRMN 1410 AM, Big Top Sports, with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. But at least, and I've done play-by-play for college. I've done color analyst for college. Play-by-play for baseball. Yes, it's difficult, especially when you're sitting in the cheap seats and you don't have any lineups or anything. It's as rough as like listening to a spring training game from the Chicago Cubs or the Chicago White Sox, and you've got the play-by-play guy that has absolutely no idea who the current players are after like the 6th or 7th inning because they switched everyone out. But with that being said, these guys are professionals. They've been doing it for a long time. I can only assume, but you know what they say, you make an ass out of you and me when you assume, right? I assume that the people for Fox know what the hell they're talking about or doing when they put the likes of Rich Waltz, play-by-play, and Dan Plesac, former MLB pitcher, no less, color analyst, along with John Paul Morosi, the sideline reporter, going back and forth between the dugouts and everything, talking to the players. It made me long for the Ford Frick Hall of Famer, Joe Buck. Now, I may not have always liked Joe Buck as a play-by-play guy because it seemed like he was always slanted against the Chicago Cubs. But I grew to appreciate how good he is and was calling MLB games. Joe Buck, 1A. Absolutely top notch. And it was I understand that it's on television. You don't need to call every single thing. But what you're going back and forth with your color analysts, and you guys aren't making a whole hell of a lot of sense, and you're just cringeworthy moments, and then you toss it down to Morosi there on the sidelines talking in the dugout, and holy Smurf, act like you've been there before. Act like you've done the job before. I understand that this is an exhibition, but give something to the viewing audience. It was absolutely cringeworthy. But then again, those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, right, Derrick? Right. Because here I am. I'm in back of a mic. I have words. I'm broadcast on these WRMN airwaves. Hey, I am open to the criticism as well. Hell, I've received the criticism as well. And I know that they don't give two Smurfs about what I'm talking about and what I'm saying because, hell, they're getting paid. I wish I were. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. More after these.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by Rain-X. The 7th Circuit Court of Appeals has vacated a federal judge's injunction limiting the use of force by immigration officers in Illinois. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi called the ruling a legal win for President Donald Trump's Operation Midway Blitz. Illinois Democratic Party leaders are urging voters not to wait until the last minute to mail in primary election ballots. They warn postal processing changes could delay postmarks, meaning ballots mailed too close to Election Day may not count. Proposed Illinois legislation would restrict certain additives in processed foods and require baby food manufacturers to test for heavy metals. Supporters say the measure aims to better protect infants and young children. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Every year in Illinois, over 30,000 drivers are arrested for DUI. Due to improper testing procedures, many people end up being wrongfully charged. The book DUIs Decoded cuts right to the chase and tells you how proper DUIs arrests are supposed to be made. From the initial traffic stop to the reasoning behind the field sobriety test, all the myths and facts about taking a breathalyzer, and more. DUIs Decoded is written by nationally recognized DUI expert witness William Polarinos. Available now at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Are you looking for a way to be creative right now? Have you ever wanted to learn to watercolor paint? You can now do that from the comfort of your own home with Zoom watercolor classes. Get professional instruction from nationally showing artist Victoria Elizabeth. These classes are step-by-step, broken down with easy-to-understand instructions. They're affordable, too, at $15 for a 2-hour class. Visit her website at victoriaelizabethart.com to find out more. That's victoriaelizabethart.com.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Progressive. Starting today, a flood watch is in effect until early tomorrow morning for the listening area. This evening, showers and thunderstorms are likely with a low around 40. Tonight, patchy fog and thunderstorms are likely with a high near 40. Currently, it's 43 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister. Now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And welcoming in our guest right now, it is, well, I don't know. Who is it, caller?
Hey, brother, what's going on?
Oh, wait, hold on a second. I could do that. Butter, take 2. From the truth about Chicago sports, it is the Mac Man, Marcus Mack. All right, how you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing good, brother. A little bit up against the clock today, so I can't give you my normal full allotment of time, but I had to still just call in and we had to touch base because especially after last week and what we saw transpire with the retirement of Drew Dahlman and then the move that started happening afterwards, DJ Moore getting traded, Tremaine Edmonds being cut, and now we sit here with the Bears team that's got a new starting safety, a new off-ball linebacker, new defensive tackle, and we have to ask ourselves, have the Bears done enough? I'm going to say no.
Oh, you are in the camp of no. Well, okay. Why are you in the camp of no?
They still need a dominant pass rusher, and I hope that they can address that in one way or another, whether it's through the draft if Trey Hendrickson's price is too rich for their blood, then that's fine. I'm okay with that, but you still have to address it, and that means your last stop now is at the draft.
What about potentially getting a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles and one Jalen Carter? No.
I don't know. If a team, I feel like when a team that good is letting go of a player with that much talent, then there's something else. And you definitely have to get your ears have to get point up and say, well, why? Why are they willing to move on from a guy that young, that talented, and they're willing to pull the plug? There's something else. So I wouldn't be interested in. They weren't interested in the draft, and I think they went the right way. They got Darnell right out of it, and I think that they just need to continue on what they're doing. That doesn't involve Jalen Carter.
Yeah, and also when Howie Roseman, the executive vice president and general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, decides to cut someone or trade for someone, you kind of have to ask yourself, okay, what does he know and what don't we know? Because that would be like right up there with, the warning bells should be going off. It's kind of like the general manager in San Diego, or former general manager in San Diego with the Padres back in the day when they fleeced the Chicago White Sox with Tatis. Like, oh yeah, we'll pay all of that salary just so we could have this what was it, 18 year old at the time, and we're like, oh, okay, well, so yeah. But it's been good to see that they have made some moves, which they needed to, and the Bears have filled positions, holes that they have needed to fill, but this is not enough. They still need to address the defensive line, and I'm waiting to see how that's going to happen. And if it is going to be strictly through the draft, then so be it. But the Bears' defense still needs work, and that's what I think where all eyes are at. And Ryan Poles is gonna really prove himself. This is the off season, I think, where he shows that he deserves that extension, or we get the pitchforks and brooms out and run him out of town. So let's hope that it's the other way. That it's the way that we want it. That he earns that extension that he got by having an excellent draft class. Okay, let me ask you this question, and I believe I posted it to the listeners yesterday, but are you in any way, shape, or form worried about this upcoming season with the Chicago Bears, with Ben Johnson, with Ryan Poles? Because, and the reason why I'm asking this is because, well, we've been through the Matt Nagy thing, we've been through the Eberflus thing, and well, after the first year, those other two coaches, well, not too good. Thoughts?
No, I'm not worried about it, because I think Ben Johnson has established himself as a great offensive mind in this league, and him and Caleb seem to be a great pairing. So the Bears' offense is going to be just fine, and they're going to put up points. The thing is that for you to become elite and take that next step, you have to be able to stop that other team. And so this is where we're going to find out. Like I said, it's going to be more about on Ryan Poles as opposed to Ben Johnson. Ryan Poles has to get the players that's necessary to make this defense to where they can be monsters of the midway again, because right now this defense can't stop anybody, and that was always the Bears' Achilles, and it continues to be the Bears' Achilles all the way through to the end of the season. And you have to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. They still have an excellent secondary, even with them not re-signing Jaquan Brisker or Kevin Byard, and they ended up signing Kobe Bryant from Seattle, and they'll probably maybe address the other safety position in the draft. I think that the Bears are in a position that, if they get it right with their draft this year, then they're going to have an excellent second season to follow the season that they had this year.
Yeah, and the signings of Kobe Bryant, the safety, linebacker Devin Bush, and defensive tackle Neville Gallimore. Those, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, probably ad nauseum, but as far as Kobe Bryant and Devin Bush are concerned, I mean, I think those two signings are definitely linked to Dennis Allen, because last season what we saw a lot of him mixing and matching and doing the different schemes with the linebackers, the safeties, the corners, to where they would either, come up, press the ball, play back, etc. But it suits him because these two guys that I just mentioned, both Bryant and Bush, they're a little bit of hybrids. They don't necessarily typically fit, the typical safety position and or linebacker position, respectively.
No, versatility. Dennis Allen absolutely loves that. He loves versatility. That's what led Dio to being signed to the Bears in the first place, because of the versatility. You just hope that it translates into play on the field. I think Kobe Bryant has already kind of a proven track record with Seattle, and Devin Bush as well, coming from the Steelers. And so I think that these signings were excellent, and we're going to see really good production from both players. But like I said, it's got to be finished off properly, and the only way we're going to finish it off is by making sure that the defensive line is solidified in the trenches. And it looks like that's going to have to be to the draft. Although Trey Hendrickson still has not been signed yet. So there's still hope. It's very small. It doesn't look like it's going to be the Bears, but at the same time, you can't rule it out until he signs with someone.
Yeah, and that's basically a player betting on himself, thinking, well, one, he's coming off an injury. Two, he's betting on himself and thinking that he's going to be as productive as he was in the past. Injury be damned.
Yeah, no, he's definitely trying to, hold himself to saying, this is what I'm worth. He wants the same money that Jalen Phillips received when he signed with the Panthers. And, the problem is that Trey's a little bit older. He's coming off of a season where he was injured. So his health is being questioned.
Mm-hmm.
People don't pay you in the NFL for what you did. They pay you for what they believe you're going to do. And a lot of people are projecting that his production is not going to be the same that it once was when he had back-to-back 17 sack seasons. I think more people are more believing that his production is going to be around the high, 10 to maybe even 15 top sacks, but I don't think people see him being that 17 to 20 sack guy anymore. That's what he still wants to be paid as, and that's where I think rubber's meeting the road.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think will happen over the next couple of days leading up until next month, when the draft is, I should say?
I think the Bears are done. Like I said, I don't see a big name. I mean, if it is, it's going to be Trey Hendrickson. If not, I don't see the Bears doing anything else until the draft. I think that they addressed the positions that they needed to address. They traded for the center. They replaced Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker.
Let me get your thoughts, Marcus. And by the way, this is currently Marcus Mack on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. What is your thoughts on this on the center that the Chicago Bears traded for?
I think it was a right move, considering how fast they had to move. This was a position of definite need. I think that they got a guy that, if you look at his numbers, I think they said in the last 4 years that he's been starting, seems like he's only got 2 holding penalties. So he's a solid guy. He knows what he's doing. He's coming off of a team that went to the Super Bowl. So, he's got experience, playoff experience. So I think that it was a good, pretty much kind of lateral move. They didn't get someone better than Drew Dahlman, but I don't think that they got a guy that was worse than him.
Okay. I'm kind of in the camp of wait and see a little bit, I guess. And the reason why I say that is because, 2 years ago he was with Minnesota and their 14-win team. Last year he was with the, I don't know, the Super Bowl contending New England Patriots. Lost, but, both teams end up cutting him. So I'm just wondering, why that.
Well, this wasn't a cut. Remember, they traded with the Bears.
Yeah. But why then?
Why are you willing to trade?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the question in the back of my mind.
Well, and like I said, remember, the Bears are kind of operating from a position of, desperate, needing to move fast.
Yeah.
And I think that considering what they had to give up for it, it was a pretty fair move.
Gotcha.
Pretty fair move, big time. So I know I got to get up out of here, brother. I just, like I said, I had to call and talk some Bears with you real quick and talk all these moves. Obviously, next week we're going to have a lot more answers, and we'll sit and we'll break all that stuff down.
Fair enough. This has been Marcus Mack here on Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM. Don't forget to tune into Marcus's show, The Truth About Chicago Sports, every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. Take it easy, Marcus.
Thank you for having me, brother. Have a good one.
You too. And I'll be talking a little bit of Blackhawks hockey on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
Does your car need a shine? At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they make it quick, easy, and spotless every time. And they're open 24/7 for your convenience. Right now, get a free car wash just for joining their text club. Text BRITT to 30400 and enjoy a free car wash. Visit Britain's Touchless Car Wash at 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin or at 555 Willow in West Dundee. Britain's, caring for your car while caring for our community.
Do you ever crave a delicious treat, but that pesky guilt lingers over you? Well, you can have your dessert and eat it too. Desserts that's gluten-free, keto, vegan, and actually delicious. Yes, we're serious. At Desserts Without Regrets, located in Gilbert's, we bake for people who read labels. Custom cookies, celebration cakes, and treats made with clean ingredients and zero guilt. No walk-ins, because great dessert takes planning. Pre-order only at dessertswithoutregrets.com or call Daria at 312-610-9033. That's Desserts Without Regrets, because dessert should never be a regret.
The Live Like Rue Foundation is a 501c3 charitable organization that assists owners and their pets through a cancer diagnosis by providing financial and emotional support. In memory of a dog named Rue, the foundation helps local shelters and rescuers by sponsoring animals with cancer who do not yet have a forever home. Live Like Rue is a beacon of light during a dark time. For support for your pet or to donate or volunteer, please go to livelikeRue.org. Again, livelikeRue.org.
Is back or neck pain keeping you from living the life you love? At St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin, our spine specialists help patients get back to moving, working, and enjoying life again, often with minimally invasive treatments and faster recovery. The care you need, the expertise you trust, right here in your community. Visit stjosephелgin.com to schedule a consultation. St. Joseph Hospital, celebrating 125 years of compassionate care.
Hi, this is Sherry Aschenbrenner, Vice President of Dementia Friendly Elgin Area. Everyone knows somebody living with dementia. Caregivers and friends of those with dementia are always welcome at our Elgin Area Memory Cafe, always the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the South Elgin Public Works Building, 1000 Bowes Road in South Elgin. Also, Dementia Friendly Elgin Area gives free 20-minute dementia awareness trainings to local businesses, church groups, to bunco groups. Just invite us. If you'd like to get put on Sherry's senior email blast list, please email us at dfelist@gmail.com. Also, you can go and visit our website at dementiafriendlyelginarea.org.
Tune in to Sherry's Senior Moments radio show on the second Thursday of each month at 9:05 a.m. until 10 a.m. on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN Radio app, or WRMN Radio on YouTube. That's Sherry's Senior Moments, providing resources and information for our seniors in the community.
And welcome back in to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And congratulations to Nick Foligno, formerly of the Chicago Blackhawks. He gets a chance to play with his brother, Marcus Foligno, on the Minnesota Wild. You know, something that hasn't exactly happened or line up throughout both of their lives and careers of the Foligno family, or more aptly, Nick and Marcus. But now they get a chance to play on the same team in Minnesota for the Wild. And the Chicago Blackhawks doing a classy thing in trading Nick Foligno, the veteran, for the Chicago Blackhawks, former captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, and getting him a chance to play in the playoffs after the last couple of years, with Nick being on the Chicago Blackhawks, being the captain, giving some guidance and a home to one superstar, budding superstar. Is Connor Bedard a current superstar? I'll call him a superstar for the Chicago Blackhawks. And speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks won last night against the Utah Mammoth by a score of 3-2. And, well, thanks in part to new Chicago Blackhawk that was received in the trade with the Edmonton Oilers, Andrew Mangiapane. Andrew Mangiapane. I don't know. They don't have the phonetic spellings here. But, yeah, got his first goal as a Chicago Blackhawk in last night's game. Tied the score up 1-1 in the first period. And but the Chicago Blackhawks were actually able to score late in yesterday's game, sending it into overtime, and they were actually able to win it in overtime. Unlike, games past. Currently, the Chicago Blackhawks the last 10 games are 3-5-2, 3 wins, 5 losses, 2 points in overtime. Currently sitting last in the Central Division in the Western Conference. And, no playoffs, but we already knew that going in, at least, I did. Once they decided to make all the trades and everything, pretty much over and done with. One of the things that keeps on being an issue, especially against the Stars when the Blackhawks were playing down in Dallas and they lost 4-3 in overtime. And I couldn't have called it any better because, man, that third period, the last 10 minutes or so, it looked like the ice was slanted hard. I mean, you might as well have been on the Titanic, which, the score suggests that they were. And it's just a matter of not being able to play a full 60 minutes. Yes, the team is young. I get it. They've gotten even younger over the course of the last couple weeks with them trading away the players. Getting veteran contracts up off the books, and getting more draft capital for the upcoming draft this year, next year, and most likely the year after. But my goodness, wouldn't it be nice if there would be a superstar to come in and to play alongside another superstar? Well, that remains to be seen. One of the things that needs to change is the Chicago Blackhawks and their defense. I understand that they're young, but they keep on losing track of forwards, centers, whatever. And don't get me wrong, there have been a couple greasy goals or unexpected ricochet shots, pinball action, if you will. But even still, last night, let's go to last night. And it was Drew Comesso that actually picked up the win in last night's overtime victory over the Mammoth. He allowed 2 goals, saved 24, or I should say, he saved 22 on 24 attempts. His goal percentage was .917. But one of the things that needs to happen or whatever, you need to get another backup goalie behind Spencer Knight. Because great googly moogly, Arvid Soderblom, man, he's just, Mama said if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But she also said, follow my passion, follow my dreams. And, well, being a sports talk show host here on WRMN 1410 AM is following my passion, my hobby. But, yeah, I don't know. They need another backup behind, whatchamacallit. Behind Spencer Knight. Get him up out of here. Not Spencer Knight. Arvid Soderblom, please. Oh, please, God. Hey, don't forget to tune in to the WRMN Morning Show with Susie C. and David Tees. Hey, maybe a certain sports guy will be making a guest appearance tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank you for listening.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane.
Man, I was so close to sticking the landing on that one. No, but seriously, tune in tomorrow on the morning show. I'm going to make an appearance. They do it to my show all the time. I'm going to do it to theirs. Beep, beep, bleep, bleep. That's all, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching and listening and putting up with my bull smurf. I appreciate it. Because without you, I would just be talking to myself. Have a good night. Derrick Geyer from Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM, signing off.
We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time.